The 32-inch monitor has a place in the world dominated by what is typically 24 and 27-inch monitors. But a good 32-inch monitor is hard to come by, minus the Samsung Odyssey G7, which we recommend a lot here on Robeytech, and you can check out that full review right here. We are here to talk about the MSI Artemis 323 CQR 32-inch 1440p 165Hz monitor and find out where it fits. Find out right here, right now on Robeytech. Now there are a handful of 32-inch 1440p monitors out there that have really set themselves apart from the competition. You've got the aforementioned Samsung Odyssey G7, the LG Ultra Gear series, and even the Corsair Xeneon, if you're a Corsair component fan. There's also that great Gigabyte M32Q and their G32QC, and MSI even has a few 32-inch monitors that are what I would consider good options. Actually, I guess there are quite a few of them. But what about the MSI Artemis line? Well, let's talk about the MSI Artemis 323 CQR, a 32-inch 1000R curved 1440p at 165Hz or 4K at 60Hz gaming monitor. Now, for the sake of this video, the MSI Artemis 323 CQR will be known as the monitor. You know what? Honestly, I can see a new TV show idea. Kevin, call my agent. Okay, let's dive in and see what the specs are of this monitor before we break out how it performs. Inside the box, you get your typical things such as your power cable, the monitor itself along with the stand, a display port cable, an HDMI 2.0 cable, a USB Type-B cable, and what's this? Oh yeah, a mouse bungee. On the bottom of the monitor, when it's set up in the lower right, there are two little holes where this thing connects. Looking at the outside of the monitor and the dimensions, it sits at 701.4 millimeters by 473.4 millimeters by 317.7 millimeters, or 27.61 inches by 18.64 inches by 12.51 inches for those of you in the United States. And it weighs just over 28 pounds. It's no slouch, and it is a big monitor. The curved panel helps with the space on your desk, but the stand extends the entire length of the monitor, so just be prepared with your desk space before purchasing this. Speaking of purchasing, the monitor retails for $459.99 from Best Buy, but we've seen it as low as $359.99 during sales, which a lot is happening right now. Now, given the holiday season is upon us, we do expect to see this on sale quite frequently. Now, the monitor is made of plastic with black and matte black as the color. On the back, there's a lot of shinier pieces along with the MSI Dragon logo in the upper right-hand corner if you're looking at the back of the monitor, and yes, the back of the monitor does have RGB. Now, it's minimal RGB, but it does have it. The logo illuminates along with a simple strip along the back. Speaking of the backside, there is a red 5-way joystick on the lower left when looking at the back, or lower right when looking at the front. This is your menu button. Press to get into the OSD, the button below is your power button, and the button above the joystick is if you have the gaming OSD utility installed. More on this a little bit later. All right, let's dive into the full specs of the monitor. We are looking at a 32-inch WQHD 1000R curved VA panel with a resolution of 2560 by 1440 or 1440p with a refresh rate that maxes out at 165Hz at that resolution. And it has a 1 millisecond response time. The monitor can also do 3840 by 2160 or 4K, but only at 60 Hz. So for gaming and the best overall experience, you're probably going to want to keep it at 1440p, though, you know, you could do some cinematic gaming at 4K if you wanted to. Now let's talk about that 1000R and what that curve means. On a monitor, the R in 1000R stands for radius, and the 1000 in 1000R stands for millimeters. So 1000R means that the monitor would be a 1000 millimeter radius if it went into a full circle, which is steep when you think about a curve. Now, there are other monitors that are 1500R or 1800R curves, so the curve isn't as dramatic as those, but I can can tell you this, if you're not used to a curved monitor, the 1000R might be a little steep to start off with, or to get used to. That's not to say you shouldn't do it, but it could take some time. I did find myself seeing kind of an inverted curve on any 27-inch flat panel after I had basically used the 1000R curved all day, so something worth thinking about. We have a 2500:1 contrast ratio with a brightness of 400 nits, HDR 400 support, and 89.8 DCI-P3 color coverage, 113% of the sRGB color gamut with an 8-bit and 1.07 billion colors. We would have liked to have seen the DCI-P3 color gamut higher than 89.8, like the LG Ultra Gear that pushes 98, or even the Samsung Odyssey G732 that pushes 93, but given the price, you can see what MSI is doing here. The colors don't pop compared to those, but for the most part, the colors are really good. They're not the best, but really good, and with HDR turned on, the screen doesn't dim as much as others do, so it is usable with HDR turned on, and that's a good thing. The viewing angle on the monitor is your typical 178 degrees with a tilt of -5 degrees up to 20 degrees, a swivel of -30 to 30 degrees, and a height adjustment of 0 to up to 100 millimeters. Now looking at the port options on the monitor, you have one DisplayPort 1.2, two HDMI 2.0, one USB Type-C, which is a DisplayPort alternative port, two USB 2 Type-A ports, one USB 2 Type-B port, which is upstream for the KVM portion of the monitor, more on the USB Type-B port in a bit. And it's got one power cable. Finally, it also has an earphone out via a 3.5mm jack. Unfortunately, no HDMI 2.1, which does make it a little of a letdown if you're going to try and use consoles on this thing, and also no built-in speakers. But again, most of the monitors we reviewed, the speakers tend to sound a bit tinny and the lows are not very low. I mean, most people have USB speakers, Bluetooth speakers, or even a headset they use for gaming sound, so it's no surprise to see MSI left them out, and again, it kind of feels like they're trying to get it at a certain price point. The monitor is also VESA 100 by 100mm certified with the Kensington lock, and it is both NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium compatible. It's always a nice touch when a company does include both, especially at this price point. Okay, so there you have it, all the specs and a look around the monitor. But before we dive into the performance of the monitor, let's back it up a bit and go to that USB Type-B port on the back. I mentioned this for the KVM switch that is built in. A quick note on the KVM switch. KVM stands for keyboard, video, and mouse, and for the sake of time, we did do a KVM breakdown and how to hook it up in our Aorus FV43U video, which you can check out right here. Now you can access the KVM switch from within the Gaming OSD utility, and you can download that via the link in the description below. Now the USB Type-B port doesn't just control the KVM portion, but you can also have this cable plugged in to access the gaming on-screen display program. From within the gaming on-screen display program, you can set the joystick on the back to press a certain way to switch between different KVM devices. Now, as I am talking about the Gaming OSD utility from MSI, there's just too much to do an entire breakdown of it, but maybe if you want to see a video on it, you can let us know down in the comments below. But the basics of the programs are you can adjust the monitor's display, set macro buttons, change RGB on the back, as well as a slew of other features. If you want to know more about that, you can actually check down another link down in the description below that'll actually walk you through that entire overview. All right, Robey, you've talked about specs enough. I do have $400 to $500 to spend on a monitor, and I want something that is going to perform well. How does the MSI Artemis 32-inch, how does the monitor perform? Now, before we jump into UFO testing, the monitor has 3 different response times: normal, fast, and fastest. Your default setting is fast, but we did actually test all 3 of them. From the UFO testing we normally run on the monitors, you can see that from the pictures that the alien appears to have 2 eyes versus 3, and the white dots almost look like a solid line with pixel breaks. When running the test at normal speed and fast speed, there are dark ghost trails when the normal speed having longer ghost trails. On the fastest speed for the test, you can see that the picture that there is some inverse ghosting that extends from the main object by a few pixels. But Robey, am I gonna notice this in games? You know what? That's a good question. It may be one thing in UFO testing, but you know what? We played a bunch of games just to find out. So let's take a look. We tested Diablo 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, PC Building Simulator, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and finally Days Gone to find out that there was no ghosting during any gameplay. For these single player games, we turned on HDR, and as I said before, the screen didn't dim too much and the games were still very playable with it on. For FPS games, we tested Call of Duty Vanguard, Warzone, Battlefield 2042, Apex Legends, and Fortnite. Same results here, no ghosting even during high intensive gameplay. There was some lag in Battlefield 2042, but that has nothing to do with the monitor, so we're not too impressed with the game. Can I get an amen, Jay? So more about the display a bit. We did find that the picture sharpness and fidelity is even great for productivity, as we have no issue, other than maybe being blind, reading 10-point font for both black text on white background and white text on black background. Alright, let's do a few recommendations for all of this and let's wrap it up. If you're a multiplayer FPS gamer, then this monitor is going to be a good buy for you. The colors are really good, the response times are fast, and for the games we tested, we didn't experience any ghosting. And for the price of $459.99, and sometimes on sale for as low as $359.99 at Best Buy, the monitor is looking like a Best Buy. Now, if you're a casual gamer that plays single player games here and there, like Minecraft, then I don't know if this would be a strong recommendation for you, as you can get less expensive 27-inch monitors for under $459.99 and even under $300, especially with the holiday season coming up. Make sure to follow, our Robeytech deals on Twitter, and check out robeytechdeals.com, where we basically have Tom who scours and curates deals for you all the time to help you save money, especially on things like monitors, which he finds deals on all the time. All right, lastly, if you're buying this monitor for graphic design or photo video editing, guys, this isn't really a monitor built for it because it's not really the best monitor out there for color gamut. I mean, will it work? Yes. That's the thing. For the price of $459.99, or again on sale for $359.99, this is pretty much going to go for whatever type of user you are. You're not going to find too many 32-inch 1440p 1000R curved monitors, much less with 1 millisecond response time and FreeSync Premium and G-Sync compatible, also with KVM switch monitoring, as well as a PC-controlled on-screen display for that price. And that's the thing, for the price reason alone, it really is a great deal. And MSI has done very well with this monitor, given what they were able to pack in for that price. They actually added quite a bit, given things like the gaming on-screen display and the KVM switch. But they didn't leave out too much either. And that's the thing that's so awesome. I mean, yes, the panel's not the best, but the HDR support, and honestly, the screen looks really good, especially given the price. So again, if you're looking for a great monitor at a really good price, then I say the MSI Artemis or this monitor may be a good option for you. But anyway, it's not about what I think. I'd love to know what you think. Based on the review that we had above, is there things that we could have covered or made better? Did we give you enough information? Again, we're trying to take feedback. We've kind of cut some things out. Would love to know if we've cut too much or not enough. Love to know all of that down in the comments below. Now, while you're down there, make sure you slap that subscribe button, whip that like button, and ring that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time we either go live or post a new video right here on Robeytech. Also, come join our amazing Discord community over at discord.gg/Robeytech. Whether it's to talk about monitors, gaming, PC builds, you name it, we talk about it, and there are tens of thousands of people there who love to chat about probably a lot of the same subjects you do while watching this video. Also, we told you a little bit about at Robeytech Deals. If you're looking to find cheap holiday deals, especially during this time, follow us either on Twitter at Robeytech Deals or over at robeytechdeals.com. I'm telling you, he finds a lot of people, a lot of great deals, and he can save you some money. Lastly, guys, if you want to follow us on all the socials at Robeytech, we are at Robeytech everywhere, and we hope to see you on the next episode.